Hello everyone, and today we're back into another tier list. And yes, I did make a typings tier list in the past, but I didn't do it in the tier list maker, and I want to remake it because my opinions have changed a lot on this tier list. So yeah, today we're going to be ranking on how good each type is in all of Loomian Legacy. So we're ranking all of the Loomian Legacy typings. So there are a ton of them. There's typeless, fire, water, grass, electric, light, dark, air, ice, earth, bug, metal, toxic, spirit, ancient, brawler, and mind. And all of these typings have strengths and weaknesses. And some of them are good offensively, some of them are good defensively. But which typing is the best and which typing is the worst? So we're going to get to that in a second. But let's start. Let's head to the typeless typing. And the typeless typing overall is just really rough. And the reason is why is because the typeless type moves can never hit for super effectively. They have no other typing that they can hit for super effective. But that's fine. If there is nothing that it resists, it should be alright, right? Wrong. Offensively, there are a bunch of types that resist it. I think it's spirit type, ice types, and I think there's also one other typing that can too. So yeah, a couple typings resist typeless offensively. Meaning that offensively, typeless is a bad typing. Defensively, defensively it's okay. You have two weaknesses, which is Brawler and Mind, which Mind is not that common other than like Metatoad and maybe Immutagon. So I guess that's fine. But Brawler is super common. There are so many Loomians with Body Crash right now, and there's so many good Brawler type Loomians in the meta. I mean, three of the most broken Loomians, Tatub, Ursul, and Mutagon, all have Brawler moves. So, yeah. And also, a lot of the meta Loomians like Tundraland, Obsidragon, both have Body Crash. So, even defensively, Typeless still struggles against that as well. And also, every type can hit you normal. There are no resistances defensively. So, you just struggle for the most part, which is really bad defensively. So, Typeless is in the bad tier. My opinion has not changed on the typeless typing at all. And even though the typeless typing has some good Loomians, the typing overall is really lackluster. So, yeah, it makes sense why it is right there. So, let's talk about the fire typing. The fire typing is really good. It can hit a lot of stuff offensively, and that's what the fire typing has always been very good for. It hits a lot of stuff offensively. Like it can hit grass, it can hit dark, and it just hits a lot of different typings overall. While it only resists a couple, it resists itself, it resists metal, and I think it also resists grass. So there's a bunch of resistances, and it's not weak to too much. So yeah, it's really good. Really good as an offensive typing, and really good as a defensive typing. Really good as a defensive typing, because any fire type in the game can actually get rid of icicle traps, which is a massive advantage. I mean, icicle traps are really common in this point of the game. Maybe not as common as like barbs and poison barbs, but they're still there. And they do a ton of damage. So having a typing that can get rid of it, at least get it down to halfway, makes it really good. And also the moves for the fire typing are really good as well, like Burn Up. Burn Up gets rid of barbs and poison barbs as well. Fire type is definitely a great typing. Great offensively, great defensively. Could be one of the best typings in all of Loomian Legacy, and a lot of the best Loomians do come from the fire type, so that being in the great tier makes a lot of sense. How about water? How about the water type? Offensively, water can hit quite a lot. Water can hit electric, water can hit fire, which that's big. It hitting fire is big. It can also hit the earth typing, which there are not that many earth typings defensively, but the earth types that we do have are scary. Himber, Centimars, Tyrex, Garbantus. So yeah, there are some scary typings. There are some scary Loomians from the earth typing, which you can hit. And also defensively, it's really good defensively as well. I mean, again, it's another typing that is resist metal, Metal is a very huge typing offensively currently, so having something that can resist metal is huge. It also resists fire. It's a typing that can resist fire and metal, which that is just a miracle. Only the fire type can do that. All the other typings struggle against the metal typing. I think other than electric, but we'll get to that in a second. But it does have a couple weaknesses. It is weak to grass, and it is weak to electric. So it does have its own weaknesses. But overall, the water typing is really good. And yes, ice types do have deep freeze, which can hit you super effectively. But overall, the water type is really effective. It doesn't have anything extra like the fire type has, and it doesn't have any immunities. But for what it has, water type is in the great tier. Probably not as great as the fire typing, but the water types overall are really, really good. Now let's get to the grass type. Okay, this one's mixed. Grass might be offensively the worst typing in all of Loomian Legacy, other than Typeless. Grass is really bad offensively. Really bad offensively. It can hit earth types, and it can hit water types, which is good. Like, there's no flaws at that. That's good. But there's also a ton of resistances that it also has. Ancient resist ya. Fire resist ya. Toxic resist ya. I think Bug can even resist ya. There is just so many resistances with this typing. It's crazy. And also, so offensively, Grass is probably one of the worst offensive typings offensively, other than Typeless. But defensively, it's a little better. You are weak to Dark, which, yeah, being weak to Dark really sucks. Being weak to Fire also really sucks. And being weak to Bug also can kind of suck as well. But it does have one thing. There is one thing that absolutely saves the Grass typing, in my opinion. The fact that it's immune to light. And even though that there aren't that much light offensive yet, Flash and Flee is a light type move, which makes you pivot out. So yeah, this basically makes you immune from Flash and Flee. So yeah, that really helps the plant typing a lot, having that immunity. It also resists a couple other typings. It resists water and electric, and I think something else. But yeah, grass is overall just average. Oh, and it's also weak to icicle traps, which that does not help it at all. But I would probably put it in the meh or bad tier, but it's going in the average. All because of that light immunity. That light immunity saves the grass typing, in my opinion. It saves the grass typing. It got saved by that light immunity. Electric's fine. I mean, electric, I think it's around... I think electric might be the most average typing in all of Loomian Legacy. And I'll tell you why. It could hit a couple things. It can hit metal. It can hit water. It can hit air. There's a bunch of things it can hit. But it also can't hit certain typings, like it can't hit the earth type. I mean, the earth type is just completely immune to you. You can't hit grass types. You cannot hit yourself. And also, there's just a bunch of Loomians that are just good against electric moves in general. Geklo can soak, and Eliguana can soak electric hits. Any earth type can soak electric hits. So, it's just, electric typing offensively is up and down. And the same as defensively as well. I mean, you're weak to earth. You're weak to Earth. That's basically the big thing. Earth is a really big typing offensively at the moment. And that's not even saying that there's also the water typing. The water typing can also hit you super effectively, which also makes it really scary. But also, on the other hand, there are a couple other typings that you do resist. I can't really think of any at the moment. Like metal. You do resist metal, which is nice. But, yeah, other than that, electric type is just meh. It's going in the average here with the grass typing. So yeah, even though it doesn't have anything good, it doesn't have many flaws, apart from that immunity. It's mainly that one immunity that prevents it from being in the good tier. So now let's get to the light type. Now, everyone says that the light type is the worst offensive typing other than Typeless. I disagree with that. And there is one reason why I disagree with that. It's one of the few typings in this game that can hit the ancient type. Yes, this can hit the ancient types super effectively. Other than Ancient type itself, only Metal and Light can hit it super effectively, which is amazing. That is amazing offensively. Can also hit the Dark type, which is a lot of great Dark types in the current meta right now. So having that Light offensively is really good. And yes, Plant types are immune to you. Mind types are also really iffy, but you can hit two really scary typings in the meta currently. So that's huge that the Light type has that offensively. And defensively, it's even better. It's even better defensively because, again, just like with the offensive typing, you resist Ancient. You resist Ancient. You resist Ancient. Only the Metal typing is the other typing that can resist Ancient. That is amazing. Being resistant to Ancient is really good because even though the Ancient typing can't hit many things super effectively, it hits pretty much almost every class for at least neutral damage. And that's what makes the Ancient typing so scary currently offensively. So having a type that can resist Ancient is awesome. And also, I think it even, does it have an immunity? I can't, yes! It's immune to Spirit, which means Spirit priority moves can't hit you. Which is awesome. That's awesome, actually. So, the Light typing has so many perks, and despite its flaws, like it being weak to the Dark typing, it has a lot of perks, which puts it in the good tier. Yep, I said it. The Light type is a good tier typing. I'm honestly even debating about putting it in great, but I think I'm going to keep it in the good. Dark typing, this one I'm going to make really quick. It can hit a lot of different typings. It hits the Light type, which is huge. It is weak to fire, and it's weak to a couple other typings as well, so it does struggle defensively. But offensively, this thing is awesome. Probably one of the best offensive typings in the game, and let's just say that there's a little move called Slapdown that does a lot of damage. There's a little move called Provoke that also is in this tier. So yeah, a lot of Dark type moves are really powerful at the moment. Very, very powerful at the moment, which puts the Dark typing in the great tier. Really good offensively, and the moves that you have in the Dark type are really good as well. So, yeah, the Dark type goes in the great tier. Air, air typing, it's fine. I mean, the air typing's okay. You can hit bug types super effectively, which is nice, but they struggle against ice types, and there's a lot of ice types currently in the game which you struggle against. Mocho's really good in the meta right now. Tundraland, we already talked about Tundraland a lot, so yeah, let's talk about Tundraland. It's an ice type. Himber is also really scary, ice type. So it does struggle against ice types and icicle traps quite a lot. It's one of those classes weak to traps, which already lowers it defensively. Although it only has one other weakness. And that one other weakness is actually electric. But it also doesn't hit too many other typings as well. That's the thing. It doesn't really hit any other typings as well. It can hit the Brawler, and it can hit the Bug. I think it can hit some other stuff, but I can't really think of any at the moment. That's really it. There's really not many perks, and there are a lot of flaws with the air typing. So it's only going in the average tier. Like, the air typing could be good. Like, you are immune to earth right now with it, which is huge, but once Levitate comes up, it's going to be nerfed a lot. And even then, a lot of earth, there's just not enough resistances, and you can't hit too much super effectively. So yeah. And also being weak to icicle traps doesn't help. Now let's go to the ice typing. The ice typing is very interesting to me because there's a lot of typings it can't actually hit. It can't hit water, it can't hit fire, it also can't hit no, it does hit Ancient. It can't hit Brawler, which Brawler is really common right now. But it does have Deep Freeze, which can't hit the water types, and Brain Freeze, which can't actually hit the mind types. Which, that's big. So offensively, it's a mixed bag, depending if you have Deep Freeze as a move or not. But it does also hit plants, which, yep, it hits plants. It hits air, it hits bug, and it hits earth. So it hits a lot of different typings. It does hit a lot of different typings, which does help it out offensively. And defensively, as weird as it sounds, it actually is alright defensively. Despite being weak to Metal and Brawler, which are two of those common offensive typings right now, Ice is kind of solid defensively. It's good. You could soak Typeless hits, which are huge. You could soak other Ice type hits yourself, which that's awesome. And most Ice types counter pretty much every air type, which is pretty good, except for Stratosaur. So the fact that I could just counteract pretty much every air type in the game really just sinks the air type a lot. And also, Icicle Traps is a move. You're immune to Icicle Traps, which is amazing. Being immune to Icicle Traps is amazing as an ice typing. So despite a couple flaws, it's an amazing typing that goes into the good tier. Now, Earth. Earth is interesting. Earth doesn't have many resistances. It has a whopping 1 resist. And it's toxic. And it's only resistant to toxic, but it only has 3 weaknesses defensively. With it being water, I think it's water, leaf, and ice. Which, you know, they're all mixed bags. Grass is almost never used offensively, so it's mainly going to be water and ice. But it is immune to electric, which is huge. That is huge, being immune to electric. But it hits so many typings offensively. Fire gets destroyed. Metal gets destroyed. Two of the best typings in the game, in my opinion, both get destroyed by Earth types. And let's not even say that it can also hit a couple other typings too. I think it can hit the electric typing as well. And even though the air types are immune to you, it's just, you know, it doesn't really matter because you're usually going to have a coverage move. And plus, the Earth moves, Earthquake is a spread move, Boulder Blast is a nice move, and also Mudslide gets rid of hazards, which is awesome. These are some nice moves you can have on the Earth typing. So this is going to be in the great tier. You are weak to Icicle Traps, which is something to keep in mind, but it doesn't really matter as much because you could actually get rid of them right after you step in. So yeah, the Earth typing makes the great tier, despite being weak to Icicle Traps. Bug. How about the Bug typing? Now, I'm going to be very quick with this one. Meh. The Bug typing is just meh. And the reasons why it's just meh is because it's weak to Icicle Traps. It's weak to air types. It's just weak to a lot of different typings, which really gives Bug types a massive disadvantage. Especially since there's another class weak to Brawler. Yeah, the Brawler type. The most OP Loomians in the game currently are the Brawler types. And there's so many Brawler type moves at the moment, so Bugs really struggle. And offensively, Bugs can't really even hit that hard offensively neither. The only two that I can even think of that they can hit super effectively is I think it's Dark types and Grass types. I think there's something else that I'm missing. I think they can also hit one other type. But you can't hit Fire. You can't hit Brawler. You can't hit Toxic, I believe. So just a bunch of different typings which just counteract each other. You could hit Mine types, which is good, but yeah. Bug is just not the best typing. It's in the meh tier for a reason. Now, Metal typing. It does have a lot of weaknesses. The Metal typing defensively is a very interesting thing because it does have a lot of weaknesses. It can get hit by fire, it can get hit by electric, it can get hit by Brawler, it can get hit by Earth, so it does have a lot of weaknesses. But it has so many resistances. You resist Mine, you resist Ancient, you resist Typeless. I believe you can also resist... I think you can also resist air and ice, which is just amazing. So you resist so many typings as a metal typing, which is awesome. But how about offensively? Who could you hit offensively? Well, you can hit a lot offensively. You can hit a lot. You can actually hit light types, which is awesome. You can hit those pesky light types. You can hit those pesky ancient types. You get to hit these... So yeah, you can hit those pesky ice types, which, like I said, there's a lot of ice types currently in the meta, which are destroying it. You resist Icicle Traps. A lot of things... Barbs. Barbs is a move that you can place multiple times with this. So metal typing offensively and defensively is amazing, especially when combined with another typing. If you combine something like Metal and Earth, Metal and Fire, Metal and Light, leads to some of the most craziest combinations in the game. I mean, Seer Knight has 3 quad resistances. 3 quad resistances, which is just insane. So, the metal typing goes in the great tier. Of course it does. It's awesome. Now, how about the toxic typing? Defensively, the toxic typing is amazing. Only weak to Earth and Mind, and that's it. That is insane that the toxic type is only weak to those 2. Well, it does actually have a couple resists. It does resist grass, and I think it does resist something else I can't currently think of on the top of my head. Has a soft, so that's big. And offensively, you can pretty much poison everything in the entire game other than yourself, other toxic types. You can get rid of poison barbs, which that's huge. You can get rid of poison barbs, which is just amazing. You can hit water types. You can pretty much hit any type in the game other than the only types I don't think you can hit are toxic, bug, and spirit. But other than that, you can hit pretty much every other type, which makes this type amazing. That puts the toxic type in the great tier. Now, let's get to the spirit type. How about the spirit typing? Okay, the spirit typing is awesome. You are immune to Brawler. Ladies and gentlemen, you are immune to Brawler. You also resist Dark, which is just amazing. And I think you also resist another typing as well, which is just amazing. I think you do resist Mine as well, which is awesome. So you resist a lot of good typings with this. You are weak to Ancient, which is scary. You are weak to Ancient. You are weak to... You are also weak to... Who else are you necessarily weak to? You do resist Typeless, so that's good. But yeah, you're weak to Ancient. You're weak to other spirit types. And the other thing you are weak to is... None that I can really think of. I think everything else you're fine, which is insane because Spirit is so good offensively and defensively. Like, it's a really good typing. And even though light types are immune to you, it really does not matter because there's so many different typings you can hit. Shadow Sprint is also a priority move, which that helps a lot. Priority moves is a massive advantage. So yeah, that makes the Spirit typing go up to the great tier. I think it might be one of the lower points of the great tier, but it is up there. Ancient. Ancient typing used to be the best typing in my opinion. Now, I don't think it is the best typing anymore, but it's still a great tier typing, and it's because it can hit pretty much almost everything. The only 2 typings it can't hit offensively is light and metal, and that's just resist. And of course, there's only 2 things super effective, like spirit and ancient, but it doesn't matter because many ancient types hit really hard. But it's its defensive capabilities. This is a typing that resists fire, water, and grass. It resists fire, water, and grass. It also resists the spirit typing as well, which is just amazing. It's fantastic, honestly. And yeah, it's just one of the best typings defensively. And yes, you are weak. And yes, just like other classes, you are weak to quite a few of them. You are weak to metal, and you are weak to ancient and light. But that is pretty much it. Ancient typing is definitely in the great tier. Well, there's a lot of typings in the great tier. Now we're getting to the brawler typing. Oh gosh. We don't even really have to talk about the brawler typing that much. Body Crash. Body Crash is one of those common moves that a lot of melee tanks use and they destroy with it. And my gosh, the brawler typing can hit so much right now. It's just insane. It can hit metal... Like, it can hit metal types for super effective. It can also hit... I'm trying to think. What else can it hit super effectively? I think it can hit the bug types for super effectively. The thing that's weird is that offensively, Brawler has quite a few resistances. I mean, Toxic, that's a resist. Spirit, like I said, is an immunity. And there's also a couple other things as well. But overall, the Brawler type can just hit so much currently that it has to be in the great tier. It might be the best offensive typing in the game, despite being Spirit types being immune to it. You pretty much have to run a Spirit type in order to counter Brawler types. That's how insane it is. And also, let's not even talk about that. There are Tata, Mutagon, and Yersoul, 3 of the most broken Loomians in the game currently. So yeah, that's why Brawler type is in the great tier. Well, yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 typings in the great tier, which just shows how great these typings are. Now, the Mind type. I took a lot of crap on the Mind type before, but it's grown on me a little bit. It can hit toxic types, which is awesome. But I can't really think of any other typings it can hit other than Typeless. I'm just looking. It can hit Brawler types, which is nice, but yeah, the Mind type does struggle offensively, and it really struggles defensively as well. You are immune to Hypnotize, which is something that it does have. You are immune to Hypnotize, but even then, the Mind type does struggle. But there has been a lot of Meta Loomians recently that have been weak to the Mind typing recently. Terrashino is one of the biggest ones. Terrashino is really scary at the moment. So yeah. And also the Mind type just has some solid moves. Cycle Blast, Cycle Slap, Hypnotize, Peace of Mind. So it does have some solid moves to go on its arsenal, which is huge. And a lot of Mind types have been rising offensively, mainly because of the meta shift, but it does struggle still. It's only going in the average tier. I was thinking about putting it in the meta tier with the bug typing, but yeah, it's going in the average tier. And everyone knows what the worst typing in all of Loomian Legacy is. So we're not gonna stall any longer. It's the Typeless Typing. I mean, you can't hit anything super effectively, and you don't have any resistances. So that's the reason why the Typeless type is the worst. Now, if I were to give my top 5 typings, Fire definitely is up there. Fire and Metal are definitely 2 typings that are definitely up there. Brawler, despite having that immunity to Spirit, is also up there. Like, come on, the Brawler typing is OP. Also, the Spirit typing is awesome. Like, just for the same reasons, and the Ancient typing is also up there. The Dark is pretty bad defensively, and that's why it's not in the top 5. Same as the Earth type. Although Toxic type could also be up there. I think I would replace the Ancient typing for the Toxic type. So yeah, these are the definitive top 5 typings. And if I were to give my top 5 out of all of these, number 5 would be Spirit. Number 4 would be Brawler. Number 3 would be Metal. And number 2 would be Fire. The best typing in all of Loomian Legacy is the Toxic typing. It's mainly because you only are weak to 2 typings. And you have a lot of resistances as well, which really helps you out a lot. And let's not even mention that you can poison barbs. So yeah, poison and poison barbs. You can get rid of opposing poison barbs with this. So that's why I think the Toxic type is the best typing in all of Loomian Legacy. But remember, this is just my opinion. Everyone's typing tier list will be different. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me making this tier list. And I definitely had a good time making this. And remaking this as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all all later. Bye-bye!